is we need to have a users table. Do you guys agree? So if I have a student that logs in, if I have a staff member that logs in, if I have whoever that logs in, then all those people should be stored in a users table. Anything that is a human being gets to be stored, or anything that is of the user object. So you can be able to store everything in one box. Do we all agree? In this case, we think the only people who can log in is the officers that are going to be able to log in and then take the screens. I mean, do the screening. Are we all in agreement with having that? I'm hoping you guys are taking notes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what's the next step? We know we're going to have a users table. So there's something called a role-based user login. A role-based user login will mean we are going to have all our users in one table called users. And when we do so, we're going to then create we've got users. We then create a table called roles so that each user will be linked to a certain role, either one or two roles or whatever that is. So in your roles, you can have a role ID, you can have role, you can have role description. So an example of a role ID would be one. An example of a role would be admin. An example of a role description would be this user administers the whole system. Something like that. Then user one or user ID and username Bongani, surname, whatever that is, will then be linked to these roles. So you can then put the role ID inside the users table, which will point us to what role is this user performing on the system. Do you understand? And then want to make sure, for example, that we record every session that this person is logged in. We then create a table called sessions. So that each time a user logs in, we can be able to record here the session ID, the user ID, the time, the operating system, the device, everything about where this person logged in. Do you understand it? So every time you log in, you go to users, you check the username and password, you come back, you say this is successful, then you insert into sessions, the sessions table. You record everything you want to record about that session that this person is logged in. We know that in PHP or in any programming language, we can be able to get which device, what was the time, what is the operating system, everything about the computer itself. You put it there. Then you can go as far as putting the session ID that was generated by that session that you are creating for this user. If you want to make sure that this user is only logged in one place, then you can always check if there's a session here. If the user logs out, you delete the session. If you want to have people log in many devices, then you just insert. Then you have a field called status. You say open, which means this person is still logged in that machine. Then when one wants to see which computers am I logged in, like your Gmail or Facebook, you can be able to log in into many devices at the same time. Then you can easily manage that from there. So we've already identified users, roles, sessions. So the roles table comes to play because somewhere where you get the role, in every page that you have, on top of that page, you have to check the user ID because you've kept the user ID on a session or on a cookie or on a hidden form or wherever, or on a query string or however you keep it. On top of a page, before the page loads, you first check, does this user have a role that allows him or her to be viewing this page or not? Then you have a page saying, or you have an error saying, no, you cannot see this page. Because on top there, every time you go to a page, you check the role of that user that you have that is logged in to see, does this user qualify to see this page or not? Then you either decide to throw in a message to say you don't qualify to see this page, or you redirect them to the home page, or whatever that case is. And also, on a menu, the navigation, if you have 10 links, and in these 10 links, I'm only allowed to see 5. Then you go to the other 5, you hide them for me as the particular user. And you show them for certain users. So if I'm logged in and I check, you check, find that I'm not admin, and this page can only be seen by admin, then you redirect me somewhere else, or you just hide the menu item so that I don't know about the page at all. Do you understand? Can we do that as our assignment for this week? So this week, I need you to go and check something called role-based navigation. I mean, role-based login. Role-based PHP access control. I'm going to show you just now. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen just now. They're explaining almost the same thing I just explained to you now. Hey, sharing the wrong stuff here. Why? I'm trying to share. Where is this thing? Can you see my screen now? Hello?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so if you look at the figure 1, it's users and tasks. Figure 2, users, tasks, permissions. User groups,
So on my
users, tasks, permissions. Sure.
The screen is completely black. I can't see anything.
Let me do it again. I've shared it again. Can you see now? Okay, I'm assuming you guys can see. So this is the full one where the user role task. So this one is adding tasks. So this could be a little bit overcomplicated for you. Sorry, guys. I was saying I'm gonna look for another one. Role-based SQL. I want one that explains it the way I did. Yeah, cool. This. So if you follow this tutorial very well, you're going to get to where I'm going. I don't want a free PHP book. So what this guy does is he creates a role, like I said, role privileged user. And then the database creates roles. It creates permissions, role permission, user role. Then there's the code to create the table roles. There's the code to create the table permissions. There's the code to create role permission to combine these two. So you know which user is entered, which role, and which permissions is they able to use. Then there you go, user role. Then it goes down. It's got the class for the role. So you've got a proper class that assists you with that. Then he's got such. Get role permissions, if a user has permission or not. Privileged user class, then it gets what are these people able to do. Initialize the roles, has privileges or not. Get by username, privileged user, initialize roles, it tells you what each role does. Okay. Then you start a session here, then you check if username is logged in and if this user has permissions or not. See, so I need you guys to follow this tutorial. And then that would be our task for the week. So by Friday, I need to know that when we meet, you guys are presenting this to me. Remember to name your project already. We are doing a COVID-19 screening app. So don't bother yourself creating a lot of work or whatever, just follow a tutorial like this. Make sure your login works, and make sure when you log in, this thing can see that who is logged in and they have access to certain pages. For the interface, you can create your own interface, or you can just go blank templates. Then you go to startbootstrap.com. Then you go down, you select any template that you want, not this one. I think that's the one. Let me see a live preview of it. Yeah, the only thing it has here is all these pages only. Or you can go, there's a lot of other bootstrap templates. There they are. Here you can select the most simplest one that you can use. For example, this one or any other one. Just give yourself 5 to 10 or 30 minutes to study or to watch a video on Bootstrap and see how it works, because this will boost your compatibility when you want to get a job. People are already using Bootstrap. There's no need for you to be doing it from scratch. So if you get any of these, then you go already, you have all the libraries and everything. So we can then have our Thursday class or our Friday class to see how far you guys went with the login. I need us to be able to log in. To have a database that has roles, that has users, that is able to log in. Users must be able to log in, log out, log in, log out. So when they log in, they go to the index page where we're going to be doing the screening. So you can have log in, then start screening link. Then this person inside there sees the form where they're going to be capturing people's details in there. I'm not sure if you guys understand what I've said. Do you have any questions? So I'm not sure how our test or our second assessment is going to be, but we know it's a summative assessment. So a summative assessment means it's a combination of everything we've done. So if we are going to be running in the lab, that's another story. If we're going to be doing it as an assignment, then it means already we have started working on our assignment. That's why I need you guys to work on this on your own. I will be posting the rest of the recordings for you on WhatsApp very soon. I don't think I'll be able to do it now, maybe later today for those that need them. So I'm waiting for questions around this week's task. Do we have any questions?
I don't think so, sir.
Okay, so if you guys understand, then that is it for today's class. I'll see you guys on either Thursday or Friday. Cheers.